Mannings, here we go. Here we are again, we're in the final. It's even sweeter than it was a year ago. Sure, there won't be no let up till my tea lifts the Conley Cup, brings it back to make it 2 years in a go. We went first, and sure they made quite a burst, and left time to think that they were doing fine. But our young man named Petey swept the mabbies off their feet, but they got up the referee, sent them to the line. Here we go, here we go, here we go. Father Mannings, here we go. Here we go, here we go, here we go. Father Mannings, here we go. Well, next we met the flying and they thought they'd surely shine, with an awfully wet and windy afternoon. But James, he's soaking wet, he stuck the ball into the net. He's a target that on your honeymoon. Slashers, here we do, they're there for County's dressed in blue. We know they're going to hit us fairly, fairly rough.
1996 was a very special year for Father Allen Gaels Club, winning the senior championship after a period of 41 years. However, when all the celebrations died down, the question on many people's lips was, could they repeat the success in 97? Well, as we all know, not alone did they repeat the success of 96 by winning the league and championship double, but they also added the Leader Cup, and in doing so captured all 3 trophies in senior football in Longford, and for good measure won the prestigious Allen Gaels Tournament. Now let's join commentator Tommy Tighe for the highlights of the quarter-final and semi-final, and also full commentary on the final of the championship.
Pearse Park, Longford, on a sunny August day, and Father Allen Gaels defend their senior championship title, as referee Pat Keenan got things underway, and immediately the Allen Gaels defence was under some pressure, but with Francis McNamee getting good support from Colin Hannafy very much to the fray, as was the youngster on the day, Derek Gallagher. The inevitable was to happen as Pádraig Davis fed the ball in to Pádraig Brady, and Pádraig Brady grounded. Enter David Hannafy. John Riley, his kick fielded by David Hannafy, and Hannafy finding Pádraig Brady. In turn, it was Pádraig Davis to find Colin Hannafy with a swinging ball in. John Riley was underneath it, and Pat Keenan awarding the free out. The Gaels to come again, attack after attack. They came in waves, and as Pádraig Brady was tugged, it was David Hannafy to step up and slot over a Allen Gaels goal. Andy Ledwith was strong in the Abbey Lara defence, but strong at the other end was the combination of Rowan, Brady, McCormick and McQuaid, and McCormick taking a knock. A Allen Gaels free at the other end, getting the ball neatly in, and a James Breslin shot that raised another white flag for the champions. Allen Gaels attacking again, the ball beaten away, but beaten into the path of the fast-moving Pádraig Brady. Despite the fact it was knocked from his grasp, Pádraig Davis was there to snap it up and send it over. David Hannafy, not only was his free taken vital, his controlled play around the middle of the field. As James Breslin launched an attack up, Michael Malidi not grasping onto that one, but Derek Gallagher coming through and getting his name onto the score sheet. Father Allen Gaels with Porrick Davy instrumental in a lot of their moves. A man who certainly knows where those goalposts are. John O'Reilly trying to find the big men, Terry Drake and Peter Lynch in midfield with his kick-out. But it was Father Manning Gaels wing-back, Martin Milady, who came menacingly forward. Another free for David Hannafy. As the flags fluttered in the breeze, the steady nerve and the accurate boot of David Hannafy added to the Manning Gaels total. But Abbey Lara, as they tried to attack, Seamus Gallagher feeding the ball out. James Breslin finding space on the wing where Porrick Davis had moved out. A nice through ball that went inside to Michael Milady. Milady with a neat pass into Brady, and once again running at the Abbey Lara defence. It was the shrill blast of the... It was the place kicking of David Hannafy, and Father Manning Gaels notching up score after score. But Abbey Lara, their passes going astray. Porrick Brady, once again a thorn in the Abbey Lara side. As nice intricate play with Martin Milady once again moving up from wing back, jutting the ball through, and once again it was a Manning Gaels player going to ground. Once again it was David Hannafy to step up and slot it over. The sun shone brightly on Pierce Park, shining brightly for Father Manning Gaels as a nice flick inside. And Colin Hannafy with a delightful chip that John O'Reilly could do absolutely nothing about. Celebration time as James Breslin drives the Father Manning Gaels players forward. Neat layoff. Porrick Davis there, and Porrick has proved over the years, be it the right or the left, the accuracy is still the same. Father Manning Gaels with the players defending in depth and building up attack as Jimmy Tully, well, just stopped in his tracks there. The penalty crashed home by the accurate boot of David Hannafy. Colin Hannafy joining the fray around the middle of the field, but Abbey Lara winning the free, and Enda Ledwith. A long ball upfield, Gary Brady couldn't control, and the big man Niall Sheridan was there to do some damage as the ball came inside, and Shane Lynch rattling it home. Is there a glimmer of hope for the men in red and white? The half-time whistle, and as the players make their way to the dressing room, there is a lot of talking already done as the second half now gets underway. Colin Hannafy in midfield. Abbey Lara trying desperately to do something about that score sheet, and joining the attack was Enda Ledwith. That looking more like a scrum being formed, but referee Pat Keenan declaring his intentions as Jimmy Tully now for Father Manning Gaels, getting the ball up, neatly picked up, beautifully laid off to Colin Hannafy from Porrick Davis. A lovely ball out from Michael Milady, caught in two minds. The ball goes outside the upright and bears no fruit. But at the other end, it's floated inside. David Rowan under pressure but David, showing the class and keeper that he is, equal to it. Again, Father Manning Gaels come menacingly forward, and despite the fact that the ball had been knocked away, an attempted chip, but it was a case of wrong side of the post, as John Riley's kick out towards the middle, and James Breslin, James the hard-working James, winning the fray, winning some metres of advantage as well. David Hannafy, straight between those uprights. And free after free. The boot of David Hannafy. But Abilara, they were to come trying to power their way. They were looking for some inspiration, but with Pat McQuaid and Jerry Bomber Whelan joining the fray, that meant a lot more danger, a lot more menace. And Father Manning Gaels, who had waited 41 years to capture a Longford Senior title, had no intention of relinquishing the crown, as David Rowan proves with that save, and Gary Brady tossing out there to win the ball. Breaking from the fray, the Abbey men trying to find something to, and they did find something with a delightfully taken shot. Be it all, and the last man to grab it was the free taker and scorer-in-chief, David Hannafy. Semi-final day in Pearse Park in Longford. Rain-soaked Pearse Park as Father Manning Gaels of Rathline do battle. And as John James Riley tried with the help of Gareth Johnston to get those Rathline boys moving, well, goalkeeper David Rowan and his co-defenders assisted in Jimmy Tully getting the ball further upfield for the Father Manning Gaels. A Father Manning Gaels line ball that dropped in, and Paddy Casey was underneath it. Tommy Farrell, the newlywed, was there as well. But James Breslin was on hand to crash home to the Rathline net. The applause from the Manning Gaels supporters as the rain lashed down, and David Hannafy, as he did in the semi-final, taking up the free-kicking duties. But Michael Malidi, with a nice catch, a nice turn, and an over-the-shoulder type of kick, raising a white flag for the Father Manning Gaels. Corey Kenny was trying to do likewise for the men from Rathline. Father Manning Gaels with Colin Hannafy as the water splashes from beneath him as he makes tracks towards goal. The block down, and the Rathline defence attempt to clear their lines. But David Hannafy latching onto it and firing over. Could Sean Farrell and big John James around the middle of the field win some ball to get the likes of Andrew Flynn, and in this case here, perhaps it was Corey Kenny who was once again, and with a scoreline of 1-2 to 3 points, and Francis McNamee getting the ball neatly down. Colin Hannafy, Colin steadying himself, and once again the umpire signal to raise the white flag. Paul McCormick strong as ever in defence. And Father Manning Gaels with Colin Hannafy coming, powering forward. And Porrick Davis from out the field, and another score for the champions. David Hannafy stopped in his tracks, but David feeding the ball neatly in to Porrick Brady, and play him on the right wing, play him on the left wing, play this man anywhere. He loves to snap them up just anywhere within 20 metres of goal. That one was that bit closer. And the groom, Tommy Farrell, finding the range out to the middle of the field. Ball quickly returned in, and as Davis came to it, the referee, Eugene Murta, awarding the free, and Colin Hannafy duly obliging as he slotted it over. Conditions not conducive to good football, but big John James Riley, well, the conditions may be pretty suitable to him. And John James really taking control of things in that section of the field, for the moment anyway. Ronan Klein making it, now it's 1604 as David Rowan finds his man was Paul McCormick. And McCormick getting it up, intended it for David Hannafy, but coming in instead was Sean Farrell, and Sean to feed it across into the middle. John James once again to drive the Rathlineman forward as Andrew Flynn went out with a couple of defenders to challenge. That bouncing inside, and Flynn with the Gary Brady. Gary Brady appeals. But Eugene Murta says a free, a point for Ronan Klein. Half time, and Manning Gaels with both hands still firmly on the championship trophy, and Colin Hannafy in midfield. But good defensive work from the challengers. Good defensive work also from the champions as they hunt back in numbers. 16-5. As John James will lob that one in on David Rowan, bringing it down. Some pressure as he finds the safety of the sideline. Father Manning Gaels once more, but Paddy Casey was there for the Rathlinemen, and Paddy to drill a long one, right up. A beautiful flick on from Andrew Flynn, and Captain Cosmos Gilmore crashing it home. The celebrations as the lead is cut to the minimum. 1-6, 1-5. Trouble for Martin Milady. Shane Carroll was in the thick of the action. Porrick Brady now coming forward for the Father Manning Gaels. Porrick getting great support from David Hannafy, and Porrick Davis always on hand, always alert to take the pass at short notice and slot it over. Difficult to find a dry spot. Tommy Farrell looks towards midfield. That breaks towards the sideline. But it's Colin Hannafy. The kick blocked down. Rathline winning the free as Joe Masterson was grounded. and David Rowan at the other end to send that out towards the middle of the field. Francis McNamee waiting back, reading the game, driving it forward. And now, as Jimmy Tully took the pass, moved it on, the nice toe tap, the shot from Michael Malady, and the ball going over. The ref having a look at the watch. Now Father Manning Gaels into their second successive Longford Senior Football Championship final. The answer is yes, on a scoreline of 1 goal and 8 points to 1 goal and 5. County final day approaching, and the Slashers. Hello and welcome to Pearse Park in Longford for the playing of the Longford Senior Football Championship Final 1997 between the reigning champions Father Manning Gaels and their challengers Longford Slashers. So the Slashers team have just come out onto the field dressed in their light blue jerseys with the dark blue nicks. They're now posing for the photographs. And in the stand on the far side, some noisy spectators, as it were, waving their flags, supporting their teams. And the balloons, the cameramen greet the Francis McNamee-led Father Manning Gaels as they come out onto the pitch. Racing down to the goal on our left to limber up. They'll come back later for a photograph. So the captains out there with referee John Bannon, in the centre of the field, Jerry Thark of Slashers, Francis McNamee of Father Manning Gaels. So picking up a shot of the Father Manning Gaels coach, Jimmy Hannafy. Jimmy, who gave great service as a player and now as a mentor to Longford football. Over to my right, I see an old friend of mine, Mick McCormick, who recently has been appointed the manager of the Longford Senior Football team, and he's the trainer of the Slashers team today. He's just made his way into the dugout. The array of colour and the verbal support coming for both these sides as the Longford Pipe Band lead the teams around the field on the pre-match parade. And while they go, let's give you a check on how they'll line out. First of all, the reigning champions, Father Manning Gaels. In goal, David Rowan. The full-back line, Pete McQuaid, Gary Brady and Paul McCormick. The half-line, Seamus Gallagher, Francis McNamee and Martin Malady. Midfield is Colin Hannafy and David Hannafy. The half-forwards are Porrick Brady, James Breslin and Michael Malady. The full-forward line, Pat McQuaid, Porrick Davis and Jimmy Tully. And the Longford Slasher team in goal, Gerard Harrigan. The full back line, Barney McNiven, Oliver Riley and James Diffley. The half line, Michael Gibson, Derek Ryan and Thomas O'Rourke. Midfielders, Philip Cribben and Joe O'Reilly. And the half forwards are Barry Mulvihill, Jerry Clark and Gareth O'Halloran. And the full forward line, Porrig Oates, Desi Barry and Eamon Wall. Breakaway as the bend makes its way across the halfway line. Father Manning Gaels going into their huddle down here on the 45-metre line to our left. Meanwhile, up on the other 45-metre line are the men in blue, the Longford Slashers. Waiting out on the centre of the field is John Bannon, the referee, as the crowd face the national flag for our national anthem. From the trainers and coaches, all the talking has been done. It's up to those lads out there to do the talking on the field. John Bannon gets the 97 final underway, and it's Longford Slashers who are first to break away with Joe O'Reilly winning the free out there in the centre of the field. And Joe from the halfway line will drop that one right down in there now. Gary Brady leaving it to Pete McQuaid, and Pete McQuaid played it out to Paul McCormick. McCormick now working it further out the field towards Martin Malidi. Malidi up along the line. That's Colin Hannafy, who's gone way down along the line to send it way up the field. That's nicely won by Porrig Davis. Porrig Davis has been fouled, and there's a free to Father Manning Gaels. Porrig Davis, who's come way out the field, he's going to leave it, and David Hannafy will take it. David drops it high right across into the centre. James Diffley was there, knocking the ball down. Porrig Davis picking it up and sending it over the bar. Just under a minute gone in the 97 Longford Senior Final, and Porrig Davis has opened the scoring for Father Manning Gaels, the reigning champions. Jared Howdigan's kick out into the middle of the field. Joe Riley pulling it down, laying it off there to his midfield partner, Philip Cribben. Cribben sending the ball down now where Eamon Wall gets it. That's Philip Cribben who takes the pass, sends it in there now to Gareth O'Halloran. O'Halloran trying to find room to take the shot as Colin Hannafy put in the challenge, and Gary Brady coming out, winning it in front of Desi Barry. Gary tackled, fouled in there now by Porrig Oates. There's a free out. and Paul McCormick with the free. Paul sending it way out, stand side of the field. That's bouncing away out there. Michael Malidi is chasing after it, but it's gone out over the sideline for a line ball, and Michael Gibson is going to leave it to Joe Riley to take. Who taps it into Michael Gibson, and Gibson then will play it into the Philip Cribben. Philip Cribben then dropping it down the field where Francis McNamee intercepts back in his own 45-metre line. Francis McNamee sending the ball way up the field, and that's very, very well won back there now. And it was the corner back, Barney McNiven. Now it's Francis McNamee tackled by Porrick Oates. In fact, it was the Ollie Riley who's playing at fullback, wearing the number 2. It was Ollie Riley who won that ball. Right now there's a free on the southern end of the field. Desi Barry, sharp shooter supreme for so long now. Here comes the kick that's floating in high. Has it got a bit of a tail to it? It's gone out, it's gone wide, and it remains 1 point for the Manning Gaels, and Longford Slashers no score. We await the ball to drop out around the middle of the field from David Rowan's kick out. Out it comes, a crossfield wind that could be very, very tricky. David Hannafe, ball knocked down, and here come the Slashers now as Jerry Clark will lob the ball into Desi Barry. Desi Barry cutting inside, trying to find room to swing that left foot, and he kicks it straight into the path of Francis McNamee. McNamee way up the field. Ollie Riley coming out for it there with Jimmy Tully. The ball breaking free, and it's Slashers who come on to the attack. Now it's Derek Ryan, the centre half back, having taken the pass from Michael Gibson, dropped it in. Porrick Oates trying to keep it in play. He can't. It's gone out over the end line, and it's gone wide. David Rowan's kick out. Ball spinning out towards the 45-metre line, and it's Jerry Clark who brings it down. He in turn is brought down, and there's a free to Longford Slashers. Jerry leaves it, and Desi Barry has come out to take it just a metre or so outside the 45. This one he's putting on the deck, the old style of kicking frees from the ground. Here it comes, off the left boot and over the bar, and with almost 5 minutes played in the first half, they're level at 1 point apiece. David Rowan's kick coming out to the middle, players jumping high, but it's Jerry Clark who will lay the ball. That's good running there from Joe Riley. Joe Riley now trying to find a colleague, and he finds a colleague in Gareth O'Halloran. O'Halloran's kick is going way out to the right. Slashers with plenty of chances in the early stages, but it's a point apiece. Again, the ball dropping out beyond the 45-metre line, and it's Longford Slashers now with Barry Mulvihill laying the ball back to Joe O'Reilly. Joe O'Reilly sending in. Paul McCormick will chase back there with Porrick Oates. That's going over the end line. David Rowan's kick. Again out towards the centre. Again, a lot of players jumping. Francis McNamee going back. Paul McCormick coming out to try to pick it up. Porrick Oates, the one who picks it up and gets the free on the edge of the exclusion zone. Desi Barry, where are you? You're there, ready and willing to take it. This one he's going to kick from the hand. Sends it high, very high, and straight between the uprights. And the challengers lead the champions by 2 points to 1 with 7 minutes played in the first half. Out comes the kick. Gareth O'Halloran breaking the ball down. Francis McNamee coming across with Jerry Clark. The ball will break for Pete McQuaid. McQuaid trying to find a way out. His way is tackled. He gets the free. Up now it goes to Michael Malady, and the ball knocked out over the sideline. Some tough exchanges down there near the dugout. Advantage to Father Manning Gaels. Pete McQuaid. Pete sending it way up the line. And that's gone out over the line despite the best efforts of Paddy Davis. Joe Riley's line ball. Eamon Wall tried to get a hand to it. It's Pete McQuaid who picks it up, and Pete McQuaid high, way up into the middle. There's high jumping, but the ball breaking loose. It was Jimmy Tully who went highest. Now it's Ollie O'Reilly, and Ollie Riley now to turn and lob that ball high out towards the middle of the field. That's going to break there now for Jerry Clark, and Jerry picking it up. That's a bit strong for Eamon Wall. Pete McQuaid trying to get a knock onto it. So also with Desi Barry. Coming across is Francis McNamee. McNamee with Garrett O'Halloran and Desi Barry tackling him. They foul him. There's a free out. Frank McNamee's kick up towards the middle of the field. And Thomas O'Rourke sent it down to Jerry Clark. Desi Barry will chase out after it. Gary Brady will chase out there with them. And it's Gary Brady who wins it. Gets it out now to Martin Malady. Martin Malady working his way up stand side. Laying it off nicely to David Hannafy. Hannafy now for Father Manning Gaels from the halfway line. Will drop that one up. Asking Jimmy Tully to come and fetch. To pay it in now to Colin Hannafy. Hannafy coming with the shot. That's tailing off to the left. That's going wide. It remains 2-1 in favour of Slashers. Jared Howdigan's kick out, James Breslin knocking it down, and it's Jimmy Tully who picks it up, trying to find room. Philip Cribben was in there, but it's Manning Gaels who get it now, and Pádraig Brady working his way in, takes a shot, that's going right. Chances going a begging at either end of the ground. The scoreboard says 2 points to 1. Jared Howdigan's kick, dropping out. Michael Malady knocking the ball down. But it's Barney McNiven who was emerging with it. He gets good support there from Michael Gibson. Laid it off for Joe Riley. Joe Riley for Slashers, sending it way down. Intended it for Desi Barry. Desi will chase after it. And again, Gary Brady will chase after him. It's Desi Barry who picks it up out near the end line. Being driven out towards the corner. Will left foot that one across. That's taken by Gareth O'Halloran. O'Halloran now has got the support there from Eamon Wall. But the referee deeming that there was a foul pass. There's a free out. From the 20-metre line, and Francis McNamee to take it. Approaching the 12th minute of the game as Michael Malady from the 45-metre line will lob that one in. The goalkeeper, Jared Howdigan, underneath it, will play it out to Ollie Riley. Jimmy Tully into challenge, and Ollie lays it back to the goalkeeper. Again out for Ollie Riley, but this time it moves on towards Philip Cribben. Cribben now back on his own 20-metre line, trying to play themselves out of trouble are the Slashers, and they've been penalised. There was no way out for Joe Riley with that one, and the referee awarding the free to Father Manning Gaels. About 35 metres out from the Longford Slashers goal, and David Hannafy is the one who's going to take it. Floating it in high towards the edge of the square. That's well grabbed back there now by Joe Riley, who plays it out to Michael Gibson. Gibson back near his own end line will roll it out for Philip Cribben. The ball breaking free. Pádraig Davis trying to control it. Does so out on the sideline. Pádraig Davis now looking for support. Will drive that ball into Jimmy Tully. Jimmy Tully trying to get away from Ollie Riley. Still Jimmy Tully. His kick is blocked down. It will come. I thought for a moment it might come for Pádraig Brady. It's come out over the sideline. The linesman up here on the right says it's a Father Manning Gaels ball. Seamus Gallagher, he's the one who's going to take it on the 45-metre line. Up here on our right, Seamus looking to see what players are making the movement ahead of him as he drills it across into the middle. It's broken down, and it's Derek Ryan who got it out to Barry Mulvihill. Now Porrick Oates will chase after that with Paul McCormick chasing after him, crossing the 45-metre line into Desi Barry, back to Porrick Oates. Gary Brady in with the challenge as the ball will come across there now, and that's Jerry Clark. That's half blocked down, nobody quite sure where it was. Paul McCormick knows where it is. Does John Bannon does as well, because he's awarded the free out. Quickly taken. The red-headed Paul McCormick, way up for Porrick Davis. Barney McNiven going out with him as the ball is tapped in nicely to Michael Malady. Michael Malady now approaching the 20-metre line, taking the shot, sending it in, sending it over. 2 points apiece. Just over 14 minutes played in the first half. Jared Harrigan's kick. Out the field it goes. Martin Malady and Barry Mulvihill were doing a little bit of nudging there, but it came to James Breslin, who fed it upfield, and now David Hannafy trying to get up for Martin Malady, moved up from half back. He's outside the 45-metre line, being tackled as he plays the ball into Jimmy Tully, inside the 45. Now he's about 30 metres out. He's got support there from Pat McQuaid, but the whistle has been blown as Pat McQuaid's shot came off an upright. Free out. Too long for Slashers. Ollie Riley's free. Way there down the field. Ball knocked on. And it's Porrick Oates. Porrick trying to drive forward. Taking the shot. That's curling across the face of goal and going wide. David Rowan's kick. James Breslin is playing in midfield and Caleb Hannafy on the 40. I may not have told you that earlier, but you're hearing it now as James Breslin moving forward in possession, going strong, about to tip the ball out onto the right. That's nicely taken by Jimmy Tully. Will lay it back now to Pat McQuaid. McQuaid with the left foot. That's dropping in. Jared Harrigan underneath it there. So also are a couple of backs and forwards, and that's a foul on Porrick Brady by Thomas O'Rourke. John Bannon blown the whistle, awarding the free to Father Manning Gaels. This one to the left of the goal on our right. Play about to resume now as the injured player makes his way up and moving over to take up his wing forward position. The free looks to be a pretty scoreable one, but the crossfield wind is very, very tricky. Here it comes, floated in, floated over the bar from David Hannafy. It's 3 points to 2. Father Manning Gaels lead, 17 and a half played in the first half. Jared Harrigan's kick. Out towards the middle, Joe Riley knocking it on, Seamus Gallagher getting it for Father Manning Gaels. His attempt is blocked down by Jerry Clark, and now the ball will break for Porrick Brady. Porrick Brady feeding up to Colin Hannafy. Colin Hannafy now about to be confronted by Derek Ryan as he laid the ball into Pat McQuaid. McQuaid will fist that one on nicely on there to Colin Hannafy. Hannafy will swing that one in with the right boot. That's gone wide. It remains 3 points to 2. Out comes Jared Harrigan's kick out, and Porrick Brady gets it for Father Manning Gaels. Thomas O'Rourke is after him. Porrick on the ground in possession, being tackled all the way as he lays it back to James Breslin. Breslin feeding it to Colin Hannafy with Pat McQuaid free on the right. Pat back in now to Colin Hannafy. It's all very tight in there, but Porrick Davis has taken up a good position. Colin Hannafy spotted him. That's going only one place from the boot of Porrick Davis, straight between the uprights, 4 points to 2. Out comes the kick, out towards the middle, punched into space, and it's Porrick Davis roaming away way out the field. Porrick will send that one across to Porrick Brady. Brady now picking it up, about to be confronted as he lobs the ball inside. Michael Milady trying to get a hand to it. Jimmy Tully in afterwards. Ollie Riley. That's going out over the end line for a 45 to Father Manning Gaels. So as James Breslin sends the ball across to the linesman, David Hannafy will take the 45. The instructions from Seamus Gallagher there to the players ahead of him was spread it out as David Hannafy now comes up, kicking it right footed. That's going in straight as a die between the posts. 5 points to 2. David Hannafy the scorer, and Father Manning Gaels lead in this Longford Senior final after 21 minutes of play. A 3-point lead. Out towards the wing, Michael Milady going in front of Michael Gibson and getting it, supported by David Hannafy. David Hannafy, it nicely chipped ball in. It may yet come in favour of the Gaels as Pat McQuaid from out the field sends it in. That's gone over the bar from Pat McQuaid, a late replacement who came in for that well-known name, another. It's now 6 points to 2. As Jared Harrigan's kick once again comes out, again a lot of jumping but no clean catching. Joe Riley picking it up and sending it down along the line. Porrick Oates unable to get to that one. Paul McCormick quickly into James Breslin. James Breslin now to drive that one hard and far up the field, and Porrick Davis is onto it. Porrick Davis going with it. Davis with the shot. Davis with the point. Those Manning Gaels flags in the stand and all around on the far side of the field, greeting every score. Stoppage in the game as cornerback Barney McNiven has been attended to. A look at the watch from coach Jimmy Hannafy down there. Mine tells me that there's about 23 played in this first half as Jared Harrigan's kick out will come out towards the middle of the field. High jumping by Joe Riley, but it's Porrick Brady who fetches it. Porrick surrounded in there, trying to release the ball to Colin Hannafy. Thomas O'Rourke got a touch to it and a second touch to it. And now that's Gary Brady who's away out there to pull on it. Pat McQuaid picking it up 45 metres out. Pat being tackled by Desi Barry, who's away back there, feeding the ball into Porrick Davis. Porrick Davis now trying to get away from Barney McNiven. Turns, kicks it with the left. That's dropping in. That's gone wide. 7-2. The score remains. Jerry Harrigan's kick. And it's Michael Milady who gets it from the knockdown. Ollie Riley going across to grab it for the Slashers. Ollie Riley feeding it out. Out now to Philip Cribben. Cribben back now. And here come Barney McNiven getting it out to Jerry Cryan, to Joe O'Reilly. Joe O'Reilly, his way is partially blocked. He's fully blocked and gets the free, and he feeds it down the field to Barry Mulvihill. Mulvihill to Jerry Clark. Clark trying to get away from Frank McNamee. McNamee still in with the challenge, close to the halfway line. The left-footed boot of Jerry Clark drives the ball in. That's Garrett O'Halloran who grabs it. Garrett is surrounded down there. There's a Manning Gaels player on the ground as well. It's Seamus Gallagher. The referee has awarded the free in to Longford Slashers. Desi Barry is going to take the free. Left foot in it high for his and Slasher's third point of the afternoon. It's 7 points to 3, 25 played. As David Rowan's kicked, coming out the field, the ball is knocked down. Let's see who may pick it up, and it's Frank McNamee who picks it up, sending it up the field. They're underneath it in there now, and Barney McNown feeding it out to Thomas O'Rourke. O'Rourke will jab that one across into the middle, and Jerry Clark will lay it off now as Derek Ryan comes forward, getting it up to Desi Barry. Desi stopped it, and there to pick it up was Gary Brady. Play on as the referee as the ball comes out now to David Hannafy. Hannafy laying it across there now. That's Michael Malady. Malady driving along one way up the field and going across there was James Diffley. James Diffley then to boot it down. Stand side of the field towards the big man Porrick Oates. But Paul McCormick is there keeping it in play on the 45 into Francis McNamee near the sideline. Tackled by Jerry Clark. Foul, and it's a free out to Father Manning Gaels. Taken quickly, perhaps too quickly, and Slashers regain advantage as Jerry Clark sends it way down now to Eamon Wall. Wall now being confronted by Pete McQuaid, trying to work his way in. Still Wall in possession, taking the shot, taking the wide. And one of the Father Manning Gaels players down injured over there on the far side. So Michael Malady being attended to. The cheer from the Manning Gaels supporters in the stand will tell us that Michael Malady is okay and about to resume his place. The game about to recommence with the kick out from David Rowan. Out it comes. 27 minutes played by my timing in the first half. David Hannafy back inside his own 45-metre line. Paul McCormick in support. Paul McCormick way up the field. Thomas O'Rourke and Porrick Brady go across. Joe Riley picks it up. And Joe Riley for the Slashers send it down to Porrick Oates. He can't get the hands around it, and Paul McCormick is there. A tenacious wee cornerback. Right now it's Philip Cribben laying it off for Porrick Oates. Gary Brady gets a touch to it. Eamon Wall going in to try to keep it in play. Gary Brady hustling him. Porrick Oates there as well. It's all down there near the end line, and the referee John Bannon has gone in, has called up the play. Going to throw the ball up between a player from either side on the 13-metre line. Make that the 20-metre line. And Philip Cribben was held as he grabbed it. Jerry Clark, will he leave it or will he kick it? He's leaving it to Desi Barry to take. We'll hit this one right into the wind. Sends it in. And deadly accuracy from Desi Barry as he now makes it 7 points to 4 with about a minute and a half by my timing left in this first half.
They'll win, yeah.
Out comes the kick out across the middle. It's down to Seamus Gallagher. Seamus Gallagher's pass going astray, and Thomas O'Rourke picking it up. And the Slashers will counter-attack now as that's Eamon Wall. Eamon Wall being chased by Pete McQuaid. McQuaid still in with the challenge. Getting the ball in now. Joe O'Reilly. Joe O'Reilly will drop that one in. It's going high. It's David Rowan on the goal line, bringing it down. Skipping away there from Porrick Oates. That's going to hang out very near the sideline. Who will it come to? The ever-present and ever-reliable Pete McQuaid. He's fouled, and there's a free out. Frank McNamee into James Breslin. Breslin will drive that one right through the middle. Who will it come down to now? Ollie Riley got it out to Derek Ryan. Derek is fouled. Apologies there from Paulie Davis for that foul. There's the free. Too long for Slashers. As we edge close to the half-time whistle, and Slashers trying to edge that bit closer to Father Manning Gaels, but Martin Malady and Paul McCormick determined that that won't happen. Colin Hannafy in the same frame of mind, I'm sure, as he boots the ball way up the field. That's a good ball into space. Porrick Davis after it. Barney McNiven after Porrick. Porrick trying to get away from Barney. Still Porrick Davis has to come outfield to make an angle for himself. That will come eventually. It does to Philip Cribben. Philip Cribben laying it off to Barry Mulvihill. Mulvihill now confronted by Martin Mulady as the ball comes down to Porrick Oates on the halfway line in front of the stand. That's good running there from Michael Gibson, but the ball is knocked away and David Hannafy picks it up. David Hannafy for Longford Slashers, booting it up into space. There goes the half-time whistle, and so at half-time here in Pearse Park in Longford, it's 7 points to Father Manning Gaels. It's 4 points to Longford Slashers, as the managers, the selectors, what have you, go out to greet their players as they come in for this half-time break. There's a lot of talking to be done still. There's still a lot of football to be played before this 97 Longford final is decided. So we will pick up some sections of the crowd around the ground here in this glorious September sunshine. Second half about to get underway. Are we 30 minutes away from the destination of the Longford Senior Championship? Time will tell as Father Manning Gaels with the Hannafys combining bring the ball way down the field, gets it down for Porrick Davis. Davis now holding up there, being challenged all the way, supported by David Hannafy. David Hannafy's pass going astray, and that was blocking down there, and Philip Cribben's kick. Here comes a shot from Porrick Davis. That is curling in. That has gone over the bar. That makes it now 8 points to 4. And Porrick, who opened the scoring in the first half, does likewise in the second. Out it comes, out around the middle of the field, and that's Martin Mulady for Father Manning Gaels. Ball knocked away from him. A foul on Seamus Gallagher, and the free to Father Manning Gaels. James Breslin leaves it, and Frank McNamee will take it. And Francis then to centre way down the field for Jimmy Tully. Jimmy, who'd come away out towards the 45-metre line, but the ball out over the line, and Ollie Riley with the sideline kick up across the middle of the field. Jerry Clark and Frank McNamee, neither one get it, and Barry Mulvihill losing out there as well, as the ball is played right down here beneath us. Again, it's that man, Porrick Davis, has come out. Porrick being chased now by Barney McNiven. Still Porrick Davis. This time he uses the right foot. That's curling out to the right. That one has gone wide. Forward. Don't mind those numbers, because numbers don't matter much nowadays, as Thomas O'Rourke has the ball knocked away, but it's Derek Ryan who picks it up. Derek tackled by Colin Hannafy. The support coming in there now from Michael Gibson, laying it back, and it's James Diffley who will get it out to Barney McNiven. The short ball, that's knocked away, but Barney is there again, and now it is Michael Gibson to Joe Riley. Joe Riley now to drill that one long and hard way up the field, and Pete McQuaid is there, and Pete now trying to get away from Eamon Wall, sends the ball way down, right down there, and it's held, well held by Ollie Riley, who clears it out to Michael Gibson. Gibson getting it up the field somewhat. Joe Riley laying it back there now. Pete McQuaid meets it, and Pete McQuaid to send it back down the field again. Nicely fetched there by Michael Gibson. Lays it into Ollie Riley. Ollie Riley out to Joe Riley. Joe Riley now further on to Jerry Clark. Jerry Clark trying to burst away from Frank McNamee. Still Jerry Clark in possession. Will lob that one out into space. Gary Brady will race out in front of Desi Barry, and Gary Brady will lay it off to David Hannafy. Hannafy tackled by Philip Cribben. Away come the Manning Gaels as the ball is played down into space. That space about to be filled and is filled by Michael Gibson of Longford Slashers. Into the middle to Derek Ryan. Derek Ryan to Joe Riley. Joe Riley will drive down up the field and Frank McNamee will meet it. Frank McNamee for Father Manning Gaels. Switching it out. That's broken down by Jimmy Tully. Jimmy Tully with Porrick Davis calling for it. Jimmy has lost it. James Diffley is there. The ball still being sought after, and Ollie Riley now picking it up. Ollie will feed it out to Derek Ryan, and Derek then from the edge of the exclusion zone, but Martin Malidi will pick. Will he? He won't. He should have. And it was Jerry Clark who tipped it up the field, and Paul McCormick switches play right across now to Pat McQuaid, and Pat mishandling that one, but nobody near him. That's gone out over the sideline. Philip Cribben will take the line ball from the halfway line, sending it high. That's nicely held there now by James Breslin, and James is held by Porrick Oates. There's a free out from the 45-metre line. Let's see, will James take it? He won't. He'll leave it to Frank McNamee. Down for Porrick Brady. Thomas O'Rourke will challenge him all the way as the ball is played down to Porrick Davis, and Porrick Davis laying it back neatly there now. Here it comes, dropping in. Jared Harrigan will take that one and pass it out now, and Bernie McNiven looking around to see who's available. That's not what he intended, as James Breslin lays it into Colin Hannafy. Colin Hannafy trying to work his way through the outside of the boot. That's a lovely point from Colin Hannafy. 9 points to 4. Just over 5 minutes played in the second half. So manager or trainer, whatever you like to call him, Mick McCormick, calling in the medics. The huddle down beneath us of Corrigan, Hannafy and Gill. And Niall Caslan is in the game for Longford Slashers. Was unable to start, but now he's gone in. Let's see if he'll play a cornerback or take up the fullback position. Joe Riley has been awarded a free. And I think John Bannon spotted that little bit of off the ball there, and he's going down to have a word with somebody. That somebody may well be the umpire. And for the second time in a few minutes, the referee has been introduced to Niall Caslan's name. He got that on the slip of paper when he came into the game, and now he's taken it for an offence. All this time, the watch was rolling on. Will John Bannon allow some time at the end of the game for this? We'll wait and see. It's 9 points to 4 as the ball is thrown up in the middle of the field, and it's Frank McNamee who's fouled and has been awarded the free. Michael Malidi was calling for it, but Frank, I think, has decided that he's going to send it further downfield, hitting it high, asking the forwards to run after it. But Ollie Riley is there, gets it out to Niall Caslin. Caslin to send it into the centre. Barney McNiven to feed the ball out. Down Michael Gibson. Gibson will add to that one. Up the field. Oh, pulled down there now by Frank McNamee. He was pulled down. And there's a free out to Father Manning Gaels. Francis McNamee with the free from his own 45-metre line. Way down it goes. The race for possession is on. Jimmy Tully racing out there with Niall Caslin. The ball is in the crowd on the far side, but the line ball is going to Father Manning Gaels. Pat McQuaid will take the sideline kick. In towards Porrick Davis, knocks it down. Michael Malidi picks it up. Malidi will feed it back to David Hannafy. Nicely into Davis, back out to James Breslin. Breslin from out the field, dropping it in, dropping it over the bar. They may have waited for 41 years to win a championship until 96, but their intentions in 1997 are wait no longer. They lead by 10 points to 4. Is it going to be a back-to-back? Out comes Jared Harrigan's kick out. Outfield it comes. Niall Caslin will pull on it. That one carrying off Martin Malady. Picked up by Jerry Clark. Jerry Clark for Longford Slashers. Feeding away up the field towards Desi Barry. The ball will break instead now for Eamon Wall. Wall trying to get away. He's fouled. And there's a free. Desi Barry, scorer of Slashers, 4 points so far. Scorer of Slashers, 5 points so far. It's now 10 points to 5. David Rowan's kick. Out the field, James Breslin going to meet it. Breslin on the ground in possession, being tackled, and he gets good support from Frank McNamee. Barry Mulvihill was in with a challenge. Jimmy Tully will pick up the possession. Tully will jab it short there now to Colin Hannafy. Colin Hannafy taking on his man, dropping that ball. Oh, good position taken up there now. And the ball jabbed in and jabbed to the right and jabbed wide from David Hannafy. It remains 10 points to 5. Fintan Flanagan is going into the game for Longford Slashers. Barry Mulvihill, the player who's been withdrawn. Out comes the kick out. Philip Cribben to lay it in there now to Derek Ryan. Derek Ryan for Longford Slashers. Way up close Desi. That's Eamon Wall. Eamon Wall now, and he lays it back to Garrett O'Halloran. O'Halloran now on the line, trying to feed it in, but Pete McQuaid is there. Just listen to the crowd. That's the Manning Gaels crowd cheering Pete McQuaid, but Joe Riley intercepts, and now listen to the Slashers crowd as Eamon Wall works his way up the field, trying to find support and gets it. No, he didn't, not immediately, but he will get it from Jerry Clark. Jerry Clark, the swing play out to the right. Is this the first touch for Fintan Flanagan? Flanagan being policed there now by Seamus Gallagher as the ball is dropped in. David Rowan underneath it. David Rowan in possession. Feeding it out to Gary Brady. Tackled by Desi Barry. Gary Brady near his own end line. Keeping the ball in. Getting it out there to Porrick Brady. Porrick Brady laid it off, but that's not a good pass. And Slashers will take up possession as Thomas O'Rourke. Thomas O'Rourke, having taken the pass from Porrick Oates, sends it high. That's going to go up near the end line, out over the end line, and go wide. Number 20 on the programme is Eamon Crowe, who is gone in to the Father Allen Gaels side. Jimmy Tully has gone out into the half-forward line. Porrick Brady, I think, is the player who has been brought to the bench. Right now, it's Pat McQuaid in possession. So there's confirmation of the substitution over the public address. Right now, there's a free, and it's Eamon Crowe who gets the ball. Crowe, he's dispossessed in there now by Philip Cribben. A free to Longford Slashers. Niall Caslan out now to Eamon Wall. Wall on the halfway line into Joe Riley. Riley feeding it on for Thomas O'Rourke. Thomas O'Rourke has the ball knocked away from him, but it will come back to Gareth O'Halloran. O'Halloran then to jab it in low to Desi Barry. Desi Barry being tackled there and still being tackled by Gary Brady, and Desi Barry still in possession of the ball, breaking free. Now it's Jerry Clark who picks it up, feeds it out to Porrick Oates. Porrick Oates trying to make room. The big man trying to burst through, will feed the ball back now, and that's Philip Cribben now to Jerry Clark. Clark this time with the right foot will lob it in. David Rowan underneath it. It comes down, and they're coming out with it. Paul McCormick gets the ball out to Colin Hannafy. Hannafy now trying to get away from Philip Cribben, feeding the ball down the field, but Slashers trying to bring it upfield as Niall Caslan boots it. That's gone out over the line. James Breslin playing a very deep role back there, was instrumental in that clearance for Father Allen Gaels a few seconds ago. Trying to figure out who is actually playing where at the moment as the ball comes across in. Martin Malady taps it down, and now here comes James Breslin, feeding it way down the line. Porrick Davis will race out to that one. Neatly picked up by Porrick Davis. Ollie Riley sticking to his task. Davis trying to feed it in. Good running there from Michael Malady. Jinking his way in. Taking the shot. That's going over the bar from the boot of Michael Malady. $11 points to 5. Out comes the ball in this bright September sunshine. Glorious day for football, and that crossfield wind doesn't seem to be giving them much bother at the moment, as that has come very near the sideline. Maybe it did give them a little bit of bother as James Breslin's pass going astray, and Jerry Clark now taking the ball and sending it up the field where Paul McCormick comes out to grab it, and David Hannafy to support. But McCormick still there to help if he's needed, but it's played up to Michael Malady. Malady now setting off from the solo run. Way down into the corner for Jimmy Tully. Tully out there. Thomas O'Rourke will go out to challenge. Good positioning there from Porrick Davis. Now out on the sideline. Drawing the man out with him. Back to Michael Malady. Malady will drop that one in. That's nicely held in there by Niall Caslan. And Caslan coming out with it. This sturdily built fullback feeds the ball out. That's Jerry Clark. Jerry being chased by Eamon Crowe as Jerry Clark sends the ball up the field, waiting for this Paul McCormick. Paul nicely weighted past to Martin Malady. Martin Malady down the field. That's coming to Colin Hannafy. Colin Hannafy now. He's tackled. He'll jab it on to Michael Malady. Michael Malady, that's going to swing away out towards the right. The goalkeeper is underneath it, grabbing it and feeding it out. Now, Barney McNiffen with the clearance out to the line. Philip Cribben. The chase is all in vain. David Hannafy with the line ball. David Hannafy playing it infield. Jimmy Tully lays it off, but it's Ollie Riley who picks it up. And Ollie now to Joe Riley. Joe Riley across in there to Desi Barry way back, 25 metres out from his own goal. Now it's Jerry Clark back on the 45. This is Joe Riley approaching halfway, and from halfway drops it in. That ball is going to break inside for Eamon Wall. Eamon Wall with the shot. That's going wide from Eamon Wall, and it will remain 11 points to 5. But let me tell you that those Father Allen Gaels full back line were converging upon him, didn't give him any room for thought. And with another stoppage in play, now I make it that there's about 19 minutes played so far in this second half. So David Rowan will take the kick out. So far, neither goalkeeper has been tested. Is there a goal in this Longford final? What will happen in these last 10 minutes? That's Porrick Oates. And I can tell you that Michael Gibson has gone down injured and has lost a boot, but right now it's Eamon Wall. Eamon now showing as he takes a shot from way out the field. That's going high, that's gone wide, and it remains 11 points to 5. David Rowan's kick. Out the field it comes. Joe Riley. Joe for Longford Slashers. Being tackled by Colin Hannafy. Gareth O'Halloran with the support. O'Halloran's kick is high. Way up into the corner. That's bouncing out over the end line and has gone wide. Despite the best efforts of Fintan Flanagan, as Pete McQuaid, or Paul McCormick it was, who watched it all the way. Out comes the kick out. Knocked into space. Philip Cribben overstepping. And Colin Hannafy picking it up. Hannafy now looking ahead. Not much movement ahead of him. He's got to go it alone for the moment. Then dropping the ball way down into space. And the goalkeeper has come out over 20 metres. Has the ball. And now it's about to be cleared up the field to Fintan Flanagan. It was James Diffley who did the clearance, but there's an interception coming in there now. That's David Hannafy. David Hannafy for Father Manning Gaels. Across field to Porrick Davis. Porrick Davis, a very difficult player to mark. That's Pat McQuaid. Pat McQuaid being bottled up. He feeds it to Michael Malady, but he'd overheld it. There's a free out to Longford Slashers from their own 45-metre line. Just over 8 minutes left in the game by my timing. As Derek Ryan drops the ball up to Fintan Flanagan. Flanagan now to drill that one hard across. Drop, and here comes the shot. And that come off the butt of the post and has gone wide. What has Eamon Wall to do to bulge that net? Twice in the last few minutes. He was bearing in on goal. That time, the post saved the champions' faces. 11 points to 5. That certainly would left us for a grandstand finish had that one gone in. Now, here come Father Manning Gaels, but not any longer as that's broken up, and it's Thomas O'Rourke. My question a while ago, was there a goal in the final? There's after been a few very close calls, yet that goal didn't come. Here comes the ball up the field now, and it's Father Manning Gaels who will bring it downfield once more as Nye Casson moves out now to get it and get it up for Gareth O'Halloran of Slashers. James Diffley has gone way up there to lend support to the attack. Now he's got to trek all the way back. As Jerry Clark lobs the free in high and sends it wide, and it remains 11 points to 5. Derek Gallagher, number 18 on the programme, has gone into the game for Father Manning Gaels. We'll wait confirmation of that substitute. I think Slashers are getting ready to bring in Ronan McNevin. I'm not sure, but number 20, Jimmy Tully gone, Derek Gallagher in, and Ronan McNiven trying to get in to give his name to the referee. Now there's a stoppage in play, but the Slashers didn't realise that they wanted to bring on a substitute. Here comes Eamon Wall again, laying the ball back out the field, and that's good blocking down from Paul McCormick, and it's out to Callan Hannafy. Callan Hannafy now coming out with it, jabbing it out. That's going to go very near the line, but Martin Malidi keeps it in play. Martin driving the ball up to Porrick Davis. Porrick Davis looking around. A crossfield ball in there now towards Eamon Crowe. Eamon Crowe with the left foot from out the field. That's dropping in high and dropping over the bar from Eamon Crowe. "12 points to 5. 5 minutes left in the game by my timing. It's the timing of referee John Bannon that will count most. But it looks like Messrs Hannafy, Gill and Carrigan are on to a back-to-back of Longford Senior Championships. This for the Manning Gaels team looking good as the ball is played up the field. That's Porrick Oates tussling for it there now with Frank McNamee, and the ball gone out over the sideline, and Jerry Clark will take the sideline kick. Dropping it way up there towards the angle of the parallelogram, and Paul McCormick. Paul being surrounded up there, and the referee is going to call for the ball, and I think he might well throw it up between the players. Paul McCormick has taken a little bit of a knock. A bit of movement beneath us with spectators leaving the ground, but none of those are from Balnamuck or Drumlish. Up goes the ball, and now it's Jerry Clark having taken the pass from Fintan Flanagan. Now Jerry trying to take the shot and takes the point, and that's 5 for Desi Barry, 1 for Jerry Clark. It's 6 points for Longford Slashers, but it's twice that. It's 12 for Father Manning Gaels. David Rowan's kick out towards the middle of the field. Ball jabbed down by James Breslin, picked up by Niall Caslin. Caslin now for the Slashers, booting it way up there. Paul McCormick underneath it. So also there was Ronan McNiven. The ball going out over the line. The linesman indicating that the line ball is going Father Manning Gaels' way, and Captain Frank McNamee is the one who's going to take it. Niall Caslin underneath it and grabbing it there now for the Slashers, putting it right to the middle, but that's snuffed out neatly, and away come Father Manning Gaels as Seamus Gallagher drops the ball down. Out comes the goalkeeper, and he pans it out, and who gets it? Who but Porrick Davis back in there. Eamon Crowe jabbing it in. That's James Diffley who grabs it, getting it out the field. And now as Fintan Flanagan laid it off to Thomas O'Rourke, and Joe Riley linking up again with Fintan Flanagan on the halfway line. Fintan back there to Joe Riley. Joe who's played his heart out for the Slashers. That's Jerry Clark. And Jerry dropping it up. It's punched down. And it's Martin Malidi. He'll feed it out. David Hannafy lays it off for Michael Malidi. Michael Malidi further up the field now. That's Derek Gallagher. Derek Gallagher in now to Eamon Crowe. Crowe steadying himself, taking the left for a chip shot, dropping it in. It's punched out by the goalkeeper, Jared Harrigan, and Ollie Riley. Ollie coming out now, trying to slip away. I make it that there's about a minute or so left in the game. Here it comes out to Jerry Clark. Jerry Clark laying it back there now. That's Joe Riley in possession. Joe Riley for the Slashers, way up the field. The nudging and pushing, but the play goes on as Philip Cribben will feed the ball up there now to Ronan McNiven. McNiven feeding it in now to Eamon Wall, and Wall gets the free. Right across into the middle now to Jerry Clark. Jerry trying to work it up, takes the shot, that's curling away out to the left and going wide, and it remains 12 points to 6. And let me tell you that with time almost up by my timing, the crowd filing away from Pierce Park in Longford, but had either one or perhaps both of Eamon Wall's efforts gone in, well, I can tell you nobody would believe in. Here comes the kick out from David Rowan, dropping out. Martin Malidi knocks it down but doesn't hold. Porrick Oates gets it. Is there a late rally in these Slashers lads as Porrick Oates stops it into the arms of David Rowan. David Rowan will send it out in the general direction of the sideline, out over the sideline. Line ball to the Slashers and Desi Barry. Desi will drop that one in. It's going to drop in high. They're underneath it and the ball has gone in. And they're making signals there, but I think there's a free out for an infringement. John Bannon looks at his watch. It remains 12 points to 6. David Rowan will take the free out. 32 have gone since the second half commenced, but I can tell you that there were a few minutes of stoppage time to be added on. Here now comes Martin Malady. Martin trying to slip away and succeeding in slipping away from Jerry Clark, feeding it into Michael. Michael Malady across into the middle. David Hannafy, he's got Colin in support on his right. David Hannafy going, taking the shot. That's going high, that's going wide, and the next kick out could well bring cheers of celebrations from the Father Manning Gaels supporters. Let's wait and see. Smiles on the faces of those Manning Gaels mentors down there. There goes the final whistle, and it's a back-to-back of senior championships for Father Manning Gaels. A jubilant Jimmy Hannafy doing a jig of delight as he makes his way out onto the field. Father Manning Gaels, they had waited so long for a senior championship. They were determined that the wait was definitely over. Well, with back-to-backs, it certainly is. What an achievement. All those barren years, they were forgotten last year. This year, they will be banished, perhaps forever. I'll say hello to Eamon Gray. So the Father Manning Gaels team make their way over to applaud the supporters, the great supporters who supported and applauded them for the past 2 seasons. And let me tell you that when Frank McNamee comes across here to receive the cup, the cheers will echo loud and high over Pierce Park. Martin Malidi, carrying Father Manning Gaels' flag, leads the parade of the team around the field to greet their supporters.
Father Manning Gaels team up in the presentation area quickly, please.
So the victorious Father Manning Gaels team now being called to the presentation area. So for the second year in a row, Francis McNamee makes his way up on to the presentation area.
First of all, I wish to compliment both teams on a very hard sporting battle, very sporting game in ideal conditions, and at the end of it all, despite the best efforts of the gallant side, the experience gained last year by Allen Gaels obviously stood them in good style, and they went and completed their two in a row. It's been a long championship campaign since we started way back in June, and every team's dream is to arrive here on this day. Unfortunately, only two can get here, and I suppose that's the way it has to be, and that's the way it should be, and that's why everybody tries so hard to reach this point. And there's been a lot of work done with all clubs, and particularly with those two who have arrived here today. And I think it's a great tribute to the players, the mentors, and everybody involved that we have two such superbly fit and prepared teams on display here in Pearse Park today. So, without further ado, Anna has done a current Sean O'Connelly, a runner our top team, Gael and Tahar Manning, Francis McNamee.
So the Sean Connelly Cup being hoisted high by Francis McNamee as he turns to the jubilant supporters. A speech should be easy. Now for the acceptance speech.
It's on our fear on our more dom a current charge off a reach. It's on the reach here, some late shot is planning them up. It's a great honour for me to receive this cup on behalf of the king and the people of the mission banning them up again. I would like to say a sincere thanks to a great number of people. I must first of all thank our management team. I think they deserve a large share of the credit for this win today. First of all, the man who made sure we were fit, that was Thomas Gill. The man who was told us how to play football over the last couple of years, that's Jim Hannafy. But there's one man whose spirit and commitment is an example to all of us, and that's Pat Corrigan. I'd like to thank all the club officials and members for putting in a huge effort over the years. The ladies committee who looked after the meals and looked after us so well, and everybody who helped out. I also want to thank another very important group of people who I missed out last year and I wasn't able to forget it. That's all the wives and girlfriends and mothers. So to put up with an awful lot. Thanks very much. I want to say a sincere thanks to a very gallant Slashers team. It was a great performance, and we know we were lucky. We had a couple of close games there in the second half, and it could have went either way if those goals had to go in. Lads, I wish you the best of luck in the years to come. Thanks a lot. Thank you for Slashers. Hit it. Hit it. Hit it. I just want to say it's a privilege for us to represent the parish for mission banding them up. And we're the colours that have been hanging out of every lamppost in every house for the past 3 weeks. Our support gives us a lift for every game that we play, and I say thanks to the whole lot of you for that. I said last year it took Sean Conley 40 years to come out our way, and we keep him for a long time. We'll keep it for one more year anyway. Thanks very much. 100th anniversary of the founding of the Longford Leader, and we are very proud and honoured to have as our main sponsor this year for the Senior Championship the Longford Leader, and we're very grateful to them, and we hope that they benefit from their involvement with us, and we hope that in fact the association will continue. And it's very appropriate, I think, on the occasion to finish. As you know, the Man of the Match award is called after and in memory of the late Father Phil McGee, who was associated with Longford GA for so many years and is held in such high esteem. And I think it's very appropriate that today we have the managing editor of the Longford Leader, his brother Eugene McGee, to make the presentation of the Man of the Match award on behalf of the Longford Leader. And we welcome him here and congratulate the Longford Leader on 100 years of service to Longford. The man of the match is Pádraig Davis.
So that dashing and elusive forward, scooping the Man of the Match award, 1997.
Where's the nice budget?
He lets his boots do the talking.
For a great game, and I think today we have the two best footballing teams anywhere in the county. I thought it was a great game was probably from this point of view more than Longford Senior. And I think there was lots of lads that were man of the match, especially over back and Paul McConnell, I thought was outstanding. It was a good fight. Great goal! This place makes that goal game, whatever would make tonight, and the rest of it would.
And Pádraig wearing the jersey of a great Longford footballer who was playing out there today, Desi Barry.
Did an excellent job, and in fact I want to thank all the referees and officials that worked for us throughout the year for Amelia Mahagal, and I just want to pay a tribute to the ground staff who I think did a magnificent job in having the pitch and the park itself is such tremendous shape for today. Thanks very much for one and all. For Amelia Mahagal.
Well said, TJ Ward.
That's a beauty, yeah. Tommy, you want to see the bag, yeah. Yeah, turn around, let's see the bag. Very nice, I like it.
With me now, I've got the winning captain, Frank McNamee, and Pat Corrigan. First, to talk to Frank. It was several years before you were born that Father Allen Gaels had won a championship. Then you come along, and now you take two in a row. It's a great feeling.
It's a great feeling, yeah, but I'd have to say there's an awful lot of factors come together over the last couple of years. We've got a great management team in Pat Corrigan and Jimmy Hannafy and Thomas Gill, and we've got a great bunch of lads. We've all come together there at the same time, and they've put in a huge effort. They worked hard for this day, and we were lucky enough it paid off now. All the effort that we put in over the winter months and since last February has paid off today.
Now, I had the privilege of seeing you playing in the Dublin Championship a few years ago. And at that stage, I'm sure Longford Senior Championships back-to-back were far from your mind, Frank.
Well, that's right. I played in Dublin for 6 years with civil service and had very enjoyable years. But at the end of the day, there's nothing that compares to playing for your home club and your home parish, because the support that we've got has been absolutely phenomenal. It's given us a lift in every single match. And when you see the colour and the cheers and the shouts and all the purple and gold jerseys that all the kids are wearing and everything, it's just, there's nothing like it. You won't find it in Dublin.
It's absolutely brilliant. Pat Corrigan, your name has been mentioned with great gusto, shall we say, for a long time now. Well, this is the second season in a row anyway, and I'm sure you hope that that's going to keep in that vein.
Oh, you ain't seen nothing yet. It's only the start. We'll put two more back-to-back with the help of God to keep these fellas together, if we can.
There's a few of them maybe getting on a little bit, but there's an awful lot of them very young.
And the most of them are very young. There's one or two of them there getting on, but we have lots of young fellas coming along. We have a good squad. We have about 25 or 26 good young fellas coming along, so we'll be able to replace them. One or two were retired after last year, and we still replace them, so we'll be flying it all the time with the help of God.
Now, it was very noisy around Balnamuck and Drumlish and that general area of Longford a year ago. Is it going to be as noisy again?
I think it's going to be worse. It's going to be worse. It's going to be more nice. They're going to be noisy for about a fortnight this year. They only had a week last year. No, it'll surpass even last year, I think, this year. That's what I think myself. They're more hungry now than ever, the supporters. And it's great for the supporters. I'm delighted that for them that we haven't won it, because they've been loyal down the years when we were in the Dolphins and we won nothing. So I'm delighted for the supporters.
Messrs Nerney and Cassidy will sing for a month.
They'll sing for 2 months, and not forgetting for old Flavin as well. They'll be singing as well. So.
Oh, my good friend Mick Flavin, of course.
He can sing it, that's right. They'll be all singing. We'll all be singing, sir.
Pat, enjoy it. It's a great achievement. Thanks a million.
Oh yeah, very good.
Now I've got Mick McCormick with me. Mick, it's commiserations on the day, but I think I've got to say congratulations as well. You've taken over the helm at the county scene in Longford, I believe, and we wish you the very best in that. But your thoughts on this county final day?
Yeah, when you were up against it, coming in against Drumlish today, but they're a very fast, lively team, very good footballers all over the field, and they were the better team on the day by a mile. Although we had plenty of possession, but we didn't use our possession well. But we knew that they were very fast, and the best of luck to them. They were very, very good.
You did split their defence a couple of times there in the second half, but luck wasn't on your side, and I certainly feel very sorry for Eamon Wall.
Yeah, we'd be very sorry for Eamon. Eamon's coming on, he's very young, and he's a great future. But he got 2 chances, and probably if he'd taken even more of them, it would have changed the game. Brought us back into the game. But we needed a goal. We needed a goal badly. It's just one of these days. Our forwards didn't click today, and you have good days and bad days, and unfortunately we had a bad day today.
Now, Mick, it's going to be very hard to console them lads in there, but they'll come.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of young fellas coming on in Longford Slashes, and we had a good few of them out there today, and there's a lot more to come on, and I have no doubt that Slashes will be back next year. They'll be a lot stronger. Today it'll give them that bit more experience. The young fellas we're on today, it'll give them more experience, and hopefully next year we'll be back in the final.
Mick McCormick, thanks a million for coming to talk to me, and at this day I'll also say thanks because I've met with you when you were on other duties outside grounds over the past few years, and you were a wonderful help. Mick McCormick, thanks.
Okay, thanks.
Now, I've already spoken to a few, and it's the turn of Thomas Gill now to be interviewed. Thomas Gill, 2 championships in a row. I suppose 3 years ago it was something you might have thought about, but still in the back you might say, well, it's not easy.
No, we certainly 2-3 years ago we never thought that, that was going to be possible, but when we got together there last year, we got Jimmy Hannafy and Pat Corrigan involved, Tom Keenan, they set about getting the team organised properly, and they're a great bunch of lads, they're extremely committed, and I have no doubt now, that there's a lot more championships in them. They're only starting to play football now,
There's a great fluency about them. Every man knows where every other man is going. That's a great thing.
Well, it comes from the intense coaching that has been taking place over 2 years, Even though they're young, they're willing to learn, And there's some great leaders around the field, and Frank McNamee, James Breslin, the older players. They're great players, and a shining example to youth, apart from football or anybody that's looking on in any sport. That, if you're willing to put in the effort, the reward is there. And they're good enough to do that. They're good enough to go on and win several championships now,
And so, Thomas Gill, I'm sure you will be delighted to be involved in whatever comes in the future.
Oh, certainly, whether I'm involved or not, whether I'm Richman or Father Allen Gaels man, and whatever happens, that's it. We'll certainly be with them all the way.
Thomas Gill, congratulations. Thanks for talking to us.
Thank you very much.
I first learned the name Jimmy Hannafy way back in 1966 when you were a part of that victorious Longford team that won the league and then went on into win a championship, Leinster Championship in 68. Jimmy Hannafy, it's a great feeling to have coached lads like these to 2 in a row.
Yes, and definitely so. You just mentioned there at Longford scene way back in the 60s. I got as much satisfaction in the last 2 years of coaching those committed lads from Drumlish as I did by winning those games myself back in the 60s, as you mentioned. Those lads have trained very, very hard. 61 training sessions, I think, up to today, which makes it all very worthwhile. You know, this is the satisfaction that you deserve when you go out and slog around the field from February and March and April and May. And they're a great bunch of lads that deserve the success.
The backup play right from goalkeeper to corner forward, the backup play, that comes from good coaching, and it's certainly down to you for that coaching. All the lads have said that all along. Now, Jimmy, you can tell a player to do things, but sometimes when they get on the field on the big day, it's not always easy getting them to do it.
That's quite true, yes. Thanks for the flattering remarks, by the way. Yes, we have been trying to coach them to play meaningful football, to play combined football and put a bit of thought into it. And they did that to a large extent. But as you say, you can tell them so much, and on the day, they don't always produce. But you're happy if they produce 25%. Of what you put into coaching, and that's what our lads done, and it's more than the other clubs do. Consequently, we win the championship.
That's what it's all about. Jimmy Hannafy, I know there's gangs of people waiting to talk to you. There's a lot of celebrating to be done, and deservedly so. Thanks a million for taking the time out to talk to us.
Thanks for talking to me. Thank you very much.
Football, McCormick, Keys and Jerry, they'll dictate with Desi Barry. As we home to Monaghan. Here we go, here we go, here we go. Father Manning, here we go. Here we go, here we go, here we go. Father Manning, here we go. To the critics, one and all, some who never kicked the ball, said our team was nothing better than the Cars. Right here I say to you haven't got the bloody clue. Take it all back now and stick it up your arse. Here we go, here we go, here we go. Father Manning's here we go. Here we go, here we go, here we go. Father Manning's here we go. One more time, here we go. Here we go, here we go. Father Manning's here we go. Here we go.
With 1997 being the most successful year Father Allen Gaels Club have ever enjoyed, it was a pleasure and an honour for me to be club secretary of this very fine club. At the start of the year we had our dinner dance, which was a gala occasion attended by over 400 people. I'm sure it was a very fine honour for the panel of players to be presented with their championship medals by renowned sports commentator Micheál Mara-Hertig. Score saw the club partake in all 8 competitions, 4 of which went through to the county final in Drumlish Community Centre. Well done to all the competitors who performed excellently, and a word of thanks to all who helped in any way in our preparation for Score. On the playing fields, the players enjoyed success after success, and their first victory of the year was winning the Longford Tournament in Drumshanbo. This competition provided valuable match practice for the players, as they did not play their quarter-final championship game until the 10th of August. The build-up to the championship was as exciting this year as last year, with every household in the parish displaying our club colours of maroon and gold. On county final day, the players again did their supporters proud by returning the Sean Connolly Cup to the parish for the 2nd year in succession. I would like to say thank you to the panel of players, team management, club executive, for making my first year as club secretary a very enjoyable experience. Finally, I would like to wish the panel of players, the team management, and my fellow club executive, and of course, not forgetting our loyal band of supporters, all the very best for 98. And hopefully we will be back here in September celebrating 3 in a row.
Fellow Gaels, 1997 was another very successful year for our club, winning the senior championship being the highlight. I would like to compliment our senior team and indeed our senior team management for their efforts in bringing the Sean Connolly Cup back to our parish for the 2nd year in a row. I would also like to thank our executive for looking after the welfare of our club during 1997, and indeed our ladies committee for looking after the food for everybody involved with Father Manning Gaels. I would also like to thank everybody who made 1997 such a successful year for the parish of Dumnish and Ballinamug. But we also had some low points. We lost our treasurer, Eamon Carrigan. Eamon was a tremendous treasurer and probably the best worker our club has ever had. We also lost Sean Brady. Sean had served as secretary for our club for a number of years in the past. He was also a very well-respected referee throughout the county and indeed neighbouring counties. To the families of both Eamon and Sean, we offer our sincere sympathy, and indeed to all our members who had bereavements during the year, we offer our sincere sympathy. May the departed rest in peace. And finally, I would like to wish Father Manning Gaels every success in 1998 and everybody involved with the club. And hopefully next September we'll all be celebrating a 3 in a row. Gurmina Mahi Galer, Agus Law.